Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and if I've timed this right, if I set this up well, this video should drop on Thanksgiving Day, so a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. However, it turns out that not everybody is grateful for what they've received, for the gifts that have been provided, and a perfect example of that is Loomer, who is very big mad at Anna Kasparian for rising in popularity amongst people on the right, for taking some reasonable positions on specific issues. And since I am the architect of pointing out when Anna is not doing very well and when Anna is doing much better, I decided that I must weigh in and say, hey, Laura, stay away from my Anna Kasparian. How dare you? She's my literal bestie, and you deserve to be shamed in infinitum for daring to cross me by crossing Anna. Now, we're gonna get into this, but before we do, I want to say thank you, because I am grateful for all of you who support me via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay. And so I'm like trying to get his bicycle like up the stairs. And all of a sudden this man stops me. His name's Jeff. And he's like, hey, let me help you out with that. And he starts helping me out. He stopped everything he was doing to help me out. And then Jeff and I became very close. You know, one of my neighbors who I really like, he was my favorite person in the entire building. And years go by. One day we're in an HOA meeting, homeowners association, and one of the people living in the building said something about Trump that was negative. I don't remember what it is. And Jeff whispers in my ear, oh, she's going to start trashing Trump. I'm out of here. And it hit me that he's a Trump supporter. We had never talked about politics before. That woke me up to, wait a minute, not all Trump supporters are like dangerous, evil individuals. And yes, it was stupid that I thought that to begin with. Like a light bulb went off and something was telling me, you need to scratch beneath the surface a little more because you don't have a realistic view of what's going on.
So Anna tells this story of meeting somebody in her apartment, in her condominium, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a damn. It's not really all that important. And essentially what she ends up discovering is that the nice guy in her building, the guy that helps out everybody in the neighbors, he looks out for people, he brings their packages up, he helped Anna bring her bike up, is actually a supporter of the evil orange man. And since Anna Kasparian was somebody who was in left-wing political media, and she was somebody who was very intent on believing that the evil orange man supporters were bad people, she was shocked when she discovered this, and it made her realize that political differences aren't actually moral differences. Now, a lot of people will say this is a stupid perspective for Anna Kasparian to have, but in reality, that's something that she acknowledges, and I think for a lot of people, they don't realize that for many a leftist, their politics essentially become their religion, so the people who disagree with them are not just people with honest disagreements or different solutions to the same problems or people who have different concerns. They are in reality sinners in that faith, and that was the belief that Anna adopted in the height of her Trump derangement syndrome era.
Okay, so that clip offended Laura Loomer, who's a massive Trump supporter, as we all know, and so she takes to X and writes this lengthy post. I'll get into it. So she writes, Anna is a malicious and pathological liar who has spent years with her co-host Cenk Uygur lying about and trying to cancel every outspoken Trump supporter, myself included. She has spread delusional lies about Trump, but now in a low-cut top, you literally can't see what I'm wearing, but okay. Low-cut top and a face full of makeup, she wants to tell some make-believe story about a guy named Jeff who all of a sudden made her realize that 80 million people are all unique individuals who have their own personalities and not all of them are Nazis. The point of what I was saying was I was wrong to lump in all Trump supporters as the same type of person. And I came to this realization, and I'm embarrassed by what I previously thought of Trump supporters as like some monolith. But okay, I think you I think you missed the point. Okay.
So look, I gotta be perfectly honest with everybody out there in the audience. I don't know Laura Loomer all that well. I know that she uses her last name as a verb, saying that people get loomered. And for me, that maybe, just maybe, is something that makes me want to step away from this individual and the content that they produce. However, I did notice quite a few digs in there about Anna's low-cut top, which Anna denies, although I will point out that even though you can't see like below nya, but like where the Batman logo is, you would be able to only see the top pieces. Anna is probably wearing a low-cut top. So fake news, Anna, you're lying right there. And then she says face full of makeup for Anna Kasparian, implying that Anna is trying to deceive you with her appearance. She's trying to make herself look way more better looking than she actually is with the face full of makeup or whatever. And here's the thing. Yes, women wear makeup. We all understand that. We can all see that. We all get that. But the facts are what they are. Anna Kasparian is an attractive woman. I'm sorry to break it to you guys out there in the audience who might not think so. Maybe she's not your specific type, but those are the facts. She's an attractive person. People find her physically attractive, and I am sure that even with the reduced makeup or whatever, this would still be the case. So everybody needs to chillax. Everybody needs to calm down when we're talking about people's appearances. And as for Laura Loomer's appearance, no comment. Not even gonna go there. Shut your face. Shut up. You people out there, shut your face. I'm not doing it. I'm not engaging in it. It's Thanksgiving. Let us be grateful and not talk about those sorts of things. We got turkey in the oven.
Then she writes, come on, nobody is buying this garbage. Anna is trying to remain relevant in the changing media landscape after she has made serious cash bashing and defaming people like me who actually busted my ass to help Trump get elected. Okay, Laura. There's more, okay. She's a full-blown liar, and we need to reject people like this who spent years damaging our biggest fighters only to pretend like they don't think Trump is so bad after all. Anyone falling for this is stupid. You don't get to engage in cancel culture for 9 years, then get a free pass for being a raging lunatic. Okay, I mainly want to focus on the third graphic here, right? Because she says that I'm trying to remain relevant in the changing media landscape after making serious cash bashing like Trump supporters like her. Okay, I never made serious cash. I work at the Young Turks, okay?
Sorry.
So Laura Loomer's rant via tweet ends up concluding by saying that Anna Kasparian has made mountains of cash bashing the evil orange man, and now she's pivoting in the currently media landscape for money. And in reality, this is just the most obnoxious smear that gets leveled against everyone when you can't actually address the arguments that they put forward. And I actually like the way that Ann Coulter responds to this, which is, okay, if you want to call me a grifter, if you want to say that I'm just in it for the money and I'm not actually saying things that I believe, then let's accept that premise. But guess what? You still can't argue against me because you're so weak in your opinions that according to you, you actually believe that you can't even beat me in a debate, in a conversation, when I'm not even making points that I actually care about. So what does that say about you? Again, I will point out the allegation of somebody grifting or something like that does not supersede your responsibility to prove them wrong if that is your goal. In addition to that, I will point out that the Young Turks and the segments that I like from the Young Turks, that Anna Kasparian tells the truth about crime or talks about immigration in a sensible way, don't do all that well on the channel. If anything, they're losing subscribers and losing memberships. That being said, Anna is launching a podcast called the Unaligned Podcast, or it's already launched via Substack. She is taking memberships there, but I don't know how profitable that is at this moment in time. And if you want to check it out, link in the description.
Number two, what does she think is happening right now? Like, does she think that I'm trying to be accepted into the MAGA world and I'm trying to find a position or get named for a position in Trump's administration? I'm still, policy-wise, overwhelmingly left-wing. The only thing that's changed is that, well, first of all, we've always been critical of the Democratic Party. It's just that people are finally noticing that. But more importantly, yes, I changed my mind on like a handful of policies, including policies pertaining to crime, some extent on, immigration policy, a few things that I've talked open and honestly about on this show. But economically speaking, I'm very much left wing and have been critical of the Democratic Party for their economic policies being too pro-corporate. And who am I making money off of? I'm here at the Young Turks. I've been at the Young Turks for 18 years.
So another thing that I am grateful for is the fact that Anna Kasparian is now telling you guys what I've said all along, that Anna has not moved dramatically to the right. She's not taken the red pill. She has not done any of these things that all of these people are constantly accusing her of. And in fact, over time, she's actually gotten more left-wing on a lot of economic issues. Now, occasionally she'll be more skeptical of taxation and how government programs are run, but the idea that she's pivoted hard right is not true. I said this was her position. I said this is where she changed way back when I made the first video where I talked about her moving in the correct direction on certain issues, but nobody wanted to believe that. Nobody wanted to actually go into detail on this person's positions because people prefer simpler answers. Oh, Anna said something sensible about crime. I guess she's full MAGA Trump Republican now. I guess she's a trad wife Christian conservative because according to the brain rot on the internet, that's the only thing that makes sense. Or I guess she's grifting to the right. It can't be that she sees the consequences of these bad policies in her home state, in her home city, just like the overwhelming majority of people in the state of California, based on how they voted in their ballot initiatives and for these district attorneys, or more accurately, against these district attorneys that put forward these woke crime policies. No. She has to be grifting or she has to be moving hard right. That is the only explanation. Well, it's not the only explanation. People are more complicated than this. But of course, this all gets distilled into a grift by people who don't really care about whether or not they're being accurate on how they report on other people's positions.
And by the way, this is a comment not only to Laura Loomer, but also to the left who engage in the purity stuff and don't like the fact that in the 18 years I've been here, yeah, I've changed my mind on a few issues. And they also don't like this. Look, I see ordinary Americans as civilians, okay? I see them as people who have the right to practice, their own beliefs, to have their own opinions. And I am done with demonizing people based on how they vote. How they vote or the reasons why they vote the way they do is complicated, right? So for me to demonize them and to be hateful and divisive toward them doesn't really make sense. I have changed the way that I talk about people, ordinary people, and the way that I approach ordinary people that I disagree with because I want to understand them. And I see them as my fellow Americans regardless of what their political ideology is. That's what has changed with me. I want to be clear about that.
So a lot of people say the proof in the pudding is in the taste. And in this case, you can actually examine the record in order to get to your correct conclusions. Because Anna saying that she sees ordinary people as civilians doesn't matter, doesn't mean anything. But let's see her actions. Let's see how she's changed in terms of her coverage in the news. And guess what? I'm happy to report that she has changed in her coverage of the news. While other networks or other channels on the TYT network cover these random outburst stories, cover the Karen stories, or anything like that, the Young Turks has stopped covering those stories. You want to know why? Because Anna Kasparian is the executive producer on the Young Turks, and she feels bad about getting stories wrong, like the Central Park Karen, or any similar stories where the Young Turks jumped on the bandwagon that some random person having part of an argument that's captured on video was some horrible evil white racist that deserved to be fired based on their evil white racism. And Anna has actually made a change in this direction to stop covering those on the mainline Young Turks show, because again, she sees the regular ordinary people as civilians. So again, it's one thing for her to just state that she sees the world this way. Who gives a damn about that? But the actions back it up. And as somebody who's criticized the way that they talk about ordinary people, the way that they take these out of context clips and then run with them and then smear people over that, I'm actually impressed, and this is one of the reasons why I give praise when you move in the correct direction.
But more importantly, Laura, I'm not coming for you, and I'm not coming for whatever position you have in the MAGA world. You're okay. You're going to be fine. No need to worry. I don't know why she randomly came after me today.
Yeah.
So I did respond to her, Cenk. Let me just read that real quick. There's no need to panic, Loomer. I'm not eyeing your role in the MAGA universe. No need to air out unhinged paranoid thoughts because you and I are very different. Aside from moderating on a few policy issues, the fundamental difference between who I was in 2016 and who I am now is that I'm way more skeptical of narratives from mainstream news. More importantly, I approach ordinary people from varying perspectives from a place of compassion and open-mindedness. Because if I'm sowing anger and hatred, who the hell am I to point fingers at others for being toxic or divisive? In other words, I'm trying to cultivate the opposite of what ideologues like Loomer poison this country with, but I will give her credit for the bold decision to go after my looks.
Damn, shots fired.
So again, Anna Kasparian reads her retort to that, and she ends up concluding that retort with a little bit of a snappy comeback, as the kids would say, as the hip youths would say. And I would say, yeah, I mean, I understand where she's coming from. We are not going to comment on Laura Loomer's looks because it is Thanksgiving. Hallowed be one of my favorite holidays. I am currently cooking a turkey as you are watching this in an expert fashion. Maybe I'm videotaping it. Maybe I'm going to put it out, but we're not going to talk about the looks of Laura Loomer. And again, if you're Laura Loomer and you're looking at somebody who is objectively physically attractive like Anna Kasparian, then maybe leave that part out. Maybe exclude that from your commentary. Maybe be like, oh, she's got so much makeup on her face, while at the same time, no comment.
This whole thing that everybody does, like, oh, you guys make so much cash. And
I wish.
And Young Turks, brothers and sisters, we ain't there, man. Okay, the digital media is super tough, and we don't have daddy warbucks like everybody on the right wing has, right? Where billionaires are dropping in money left and right. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that we're going to be the #1 news network in the whole country, not just online, not just YouTube, but the entire country. And at that point, I hope that we'll make a lot of money.
So Cenk ends up going off on this thing about how the Young Turks doesn't make any money, but he's going to make it so it's the biggest news network in the whole wide world, and he's going to make such big monies with the Young Turks, and that will be great. And I would just say, hard disagree.
What did she say? This make-believe guy, Jeff. Look, we're not like everyone else in media. We don't lie about everything. And I guess that's their assumption, that whenever they tell a story, they just made it up. Right? Like, but why do you need to make up a guy like Jeff? There's like a million guys like Jeff.
But then he goes on to criticize people on the right for thinking that Jeff is not a real person, that he doesn't exist, and all of that. And he says the reason why they say that is because they make things up and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, This is standard fare. Of course, people are going to question whether or not Jeff exists. And in fact, I have breaking news for you guys out there in the audience. I am, in fact, Jeff. The bike is my old videos criticizing Anna Kasparian, and the staircase is the journey that all of us are on this channel, climbing up to the point where I'm at right now, which is around 400,000 subscribers. It's all metaphorical truth. I'm just gonna tell you the truth right here from this channel, even though I am 100% totally making it up. There is a Jeff, apparently. There's a Jeff and Anna Kasparians in her condo, and honestly, I would have changed the name in order to protect the innocent, but you know, she didn't. This is a real person. It's a sensible, normal interaction. Typically, when you meet people in your real life, you meet them before you know their political affiliation. It's usually not the first thing that comes up when you're off duty, when you're not covering politics. At least this has been my experience, and this is one of the reasons why probably the overwhelming majority of the people that I know in my personal life are Democrats or are left wing or even are progressive left wing, but they can act like normal people when we're hanging out and when we're doing normal human stuff. So it doesn't bother me at all. And I have zero desire to convince them to vote the way that I need them to vote, because in reality, in terms of national politics, that's not enough for me to break up a friendship over. And I'm glad that Anna Kasparian has gotten to that place since we've become literal besties. And again, the metaphorical Jeff in all of this is actually this guy right here. Even though, again, apparently Jeff is real and it has nothing to do with me, and I'm just messing with you guys because it's Thanksgiving and I want to bring you a little bit of joy, a little bit of tidings. I want to give you a little bit of stuffing in your face from my videos.
I didn't even expect this clip to blow up, and then Jeff saw it, and Jeff was like really touched by it because he didn't even know that I was having these internal thoughts.
Oh, is that what Jeff thought? Okay, so, and then, Laura, don't get into the looks. What are you, nuts?
Whatever,
okay.
I don't want to get into it either.
Okay, so Anyways,
So Jen goes down a whole list of different things, and then he says, Laura, don't get into looks, and then Anna says, whatever, I don't want to get into it. But the thing is, I mean, I gotta be perfectly honest with you guys out there in the audience, yeah, she does, and that's why she had that last part of her tweet, that's why she read that portion of her tweet, that's why she responded specifically to the looks criticism when she was reading Laura Loomer's tweet, but she, like me in this particular video, is not trying to go there. Again, it's Thanksgiving, guys. Hallowed be thy turkey's name. We're not gonna get into it because we're good people. We're with our families. We are caring and sharing with one another, and I've decided to let this pass, to say pass the cranberry sauce, because we're not gonna talk about anybody's face parts, because that is not how we roll over here on the actual Justice Warrior. But you know what? I want to know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Is Jeff made up? Is Anna a makeup-faced harpy? Is Laura Loomer your waifu? Let me know all your comments down in the comments below. If you like this video, then show me by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on all my social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about Anna Kasparian versus Laura Loomer. Till next time.